Thank you for joining me. So, I find that when we talk about compliance and the importance of health and safety, of risk assessments, of safe systems at work, we're often reminded of what happens when things go wrong. These examples are meant to serve as reminders or warnings of what happens when compliance is not given the credence it deserves, and so drive us into action. One of the starkest examples of this is the tragic events that took place at the theme park Alton Towers in 2015, when a fun day out during a sunny June day, people were excitedly queuing for the park's newest ride, the Smiler, a roller coaster that had more loops than any other in the world, a day that ended in tragedy. A carriage carrying 16 people devastatingly slammed into another car, trapping those on the ride 20 feet in the air. 11 people required medical attention, 5 were seriously injured, with 2 ultimately requiring partial leg amputations. Not only did this incident have seriously traumatic impacts on those on the ride, both physically and mentally, but it also severely impacted the business. Alton Towers' reputation clearly suffered, visitors' numbers declined, contributing in 190 redundancies the following year. They were fined £5 million, and 4 years later, the victims were finally awarded a multi-million pound compensation package. The subsequent investigation revealed that there were no technical or mechanical issues with the ride. The accident was caused by human error, when poorly trained staff manually overrode safety control systems. As I understand it, staff were so used to alarms going off, they would just override them, ignore them, and carry on. According to the judge, this was a needless and avoidable accident. Compliance should clearly not just be a tick box exercise, and as the Smiler incident demonstrates, nor should the staff training around it. Sadly, however, we find this isn't always the case, where compliance training, whether it be on health and safety or even anti-bribery or data protection, or even topics like diversity and inclusion, is seen as a chore, where employees are sheep-dipped through learning, often on the first day. This approach may reduce a company's liability, but does it engage the staff to act differently, to embrace these topics with positive intent? I find that much like the health warnings on cigarette packages, when we only focus on the negative potential impact of doing something wrong, our minds struggle to relate to these unimaginable possibilities. So subconsciously, perhaps, we believe that those consequences will never happen to us. We naively view compliance as something that has to be done rather than an engaging force for good. At On Track Learning, our compliance courses are built around stories to make them relatable and engaging, but also because we don't just want to focus on the dark side of compliance when things go wrong, but we also want to focus on the positive impact and the brighter, better world we can create if we focus on the benefits. We believe this approach is more likely to generate action. Thank you very much.